May is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, but this year, anti-Asian hate crimes have skyrocketed across the country.
WGN's Shannon Halligan is showing us how some are working to stem the hate here in Chicago.
A group that tracks attacks reported against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders found more than 6,000 incidents in the last year. However, this discrimination and hate against Asian Americans is nothing new. Now there's a growing movement to help educate people about the rich history of Asian Americans in this country and Chicago in particular.
In the shadows of Wrigley Field, you can catch small glimpses of the remnants of a once thriving community.
In this community alone in Lakeview, I counted 163 businesses.
At the Nisei Lounge in Wrigleyville, this is one stop Eric Matsunaga makes on his walking history tour of the Japanese American community that once was.
Nisei Lounge moved up here, as they were saying, in 1951, making it probably the oldest bar in East Lakeview now, possibly the oldest baseball bar.
Following World War II, Japanese Americans flooded into Chicago, especially into the north side around Lakeview, including Matsunaga's family.
Well, I'm a fourth-generation Japanese American on my father's side.
Prior to the war, there were only about 400 people of Japanese descent living in Chicago. That number exploded to more than 20,000 after. Despite this massive influx into the city, only a handful of the original businesses from this community, like Nisei Lounge, remain. Matsunaga started giving the tours when he realized this history was starting to disappear.
I tried finding a book on it. I tried looking online. I couldn't find anything. And I wanted my kids to know what happened.
This was all in part because of what brought Japanese Americans to Chicago in the first place.
A date which will live in infamy.
In 1942, following the bombing of Pearl Harbor, President Roosevelt issued Executive Order 9066. 120,000 people of Japanese descent were forcibly removed from their homes and rounded up into 10 prison camps. The majority were American citizens. Finally, when the camps closed in 1945, thousands made their way to Chicago.
The way ahead. Where does it lead? A short time ago, they were in a relocation center. Now they're in the Middle West, renewing their touch with the world they left a year earlier.
With this wave of new Chicagoans, organizations popped up like the Resettlers Committee, now known as the Japanese American Service Committee.
We have been working in this space physically for the last 50 years, but the organization was created in 1946.
Chicago, he said, became an attractive city for Japanese Americans to establish roots and call home because the city offered jobs.
I think Chicago, it's always been a hub, a transportation hub.
But while other cities established enclaves like Little Tokyo in Los Angeles and Japantown in San Francisco, there's a reason why a community doesn't exist like that in Chicago.
As people were being released from the camps, they were being instructed not to congregate. They were being instructed to assimilate, blend in, and so by virtue of that directive, you don't see a J-town forming in Chicago.
The War Relocation Authority said, do not congregate. People look at you suspiciously. You have to get out there and assimilate.
This fear still plays out across the country today.
The last year has been incredibly difficult for Asian American communities across the country.
New data shows anti-Asian hate incidents skyrocketed this year. Stop AAPI Hate found more than 6,600 incidents against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders.
We've seen it escalate into physical violence. We've seen it escalate in terms of bullying and harassment that people are experiencing, and it's not new.
That's part of the reason why Asians Advancing Justice helped to introduce the TEACH Act in Illinois. This would require schools in the state to include Asian American history curriculum in all public school classrooms. That includes the incarceration of Japanese Americans. It's education that these organizations say is lacking today.
Unfortunately, the reality is that history is taught in a very one-sided way in our public schools right now, and most students are not learning Asian American history when they're learning U.S. history.
It really isn't, because even to this day, it is a bit disturbing to still find people who, when we talk about the incarceration experience of World War II, they're sort of like, really?
I do think it's a shame that we have this kind of rich history here in Chicago that nobody really knows about.
The JASC continues services for everyone from children up through senior citizens. It's still to this day a community center for people of Japanese descent, but also has evolved into a social service agency for Chicagoans.
This is the stuff of real research. So by having a safe place to preserve documents and ephemera and artifacts, we do have artifacts here as well, that illustrate this history, it enables somebody today in 2021 to study something that happened decades ago.
While physical structures may have come and gone, there's hope education can keep the rich history alive.
I think the more society understands and hears the stories of other people, they will come to realize, oh, you know what, this is not something that we should be fearful of or hateful of.
Earlier this week, the TEACH Act passed unanimously in the Illinois Senate. It now goes back to the House of Representatives. If it goes to the governor's desk to be signed into law, Illinois would become the first state in the country to require a unit on Asian American history in public schools. Shannon Halligan, WGN News.
Thank you, Shannon. Well, cooler temperatures are going to stick around for a little bit longer, but the sun